Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are still reeling from Mike Tyson's loss to Jake Paul on Friday. We're all very depressed. We're very sad. So hopefully Nvidia is going to make up for that because frankly, it's been a terrible week for everyone. So welcome to the latest episode of the Brain Trust. As you know, it's Nvidia's earnings day. So there's tons and tons and tons of stuff to talk about, including RFK Jr. ruining my biotech position. That was a huge issue for me. So I'm in a really bad mood today, as you can tell. But before we get started, we want to go through some housekeeping items. So Derrick, you and I this morning had a very interesting conversation about Palantir, which is basically sort of $150 billion meme stock at this point. So Derrick, I know you have a bone to pick with those people. So what's going on there?
All right, so I'm just gonna jump right in. I've been talking about this nonstop to anybody who will listen, because I'm really heated up. So I've been short Palantir for a little bit. I've been trading it a lot. Been trading it every day. Did really well with it. Do I have the ability to share a screen?
Yes.
Click share screen. Boom. All right, screen shares up. Cool. So back here on 11/13, I think that was actually last Wednesday while we were talking. That big 63 seller came in, shorted the hell out of it. Caught a great 2-day move. I was looking for a third day of follow through. I had a target, $55, $56. So that's a Wednesday to Thursday move. Friday was the day that the market got absolutely wrecked. All my shorts paid. I got out of all my index level shorts. I was short the SPYs, the Qs, the IWM. I was short Tesla. I was short coin at a certain point. I got out of every single short, and I really started flipping long. I'm like super long now. Buying the dip. Sami's gonna love it. I'm no longer a bear. I got the longs on. But the one short that I didn't get follow through with on Friday was Palantir. As a matter of fact, I got absolutely smoked short Palantir. And I'm not afraid to admit my losers or anything like that. I was able to make a few dollars back on Monday when it reversed back down. But here's the thing that grinds my gears. I don't mind losing money, but so this happened on Friday. So on Friday, Palantir was trading on news. The news is that they are putting together a plan to switch the stock from trading to the New York Stock Exchange to the NASDAQ. The idea is that they can then get added to the NASDAQ index, which then would create some forced buy flows from index tracking funds. Alex Moore, who is one of the board of directors, on Friday tweeted, and I'm going to read the tweet word for word here. We are moving at Palantir Tech to NASDAQ because it will force billions in ETF buying and deliver tendies to our retail investors. Player haters, be aware that we've been hated for decades, plural. Everything we do is to reward and support our retail diamond hands following. So he came out and, this is a director of Palantir, pumped the hell out of his stock as far as I'm concerned, really juiced it. We're here for the retail guy. On the very same day, the CEO of the company, Alex Karp, sold 6.32 million shares for $399 million in proceeds. This is insane to me. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to say that anything illegal happened. I have no idea. All I'm going to say is there should be an investigation into this situation, because you can't have one director of the board saying, we're here for our retail investors. Everybody has to have diamond hands. I'm going to deliver tendies, use all these, Wall Street bet lingo words. And at the same exact day, the CEO of the company is turning around and selling 6.3 million shares for $400 million. Where's the CEO's diamond hands? How come he's not holding the stock? So it just completely infuriates me that they try to take advantage, as far as I'm concerned, of retail investors to get them to buy a stock that's trading at 130 plus forward PE multiple. And I think it costs a lot of people a lot of money, and you shouldn't be able to do that. That's pretty much the bottom line of what I'm saying.
Okay, I just want to say personally, I'm a huge fan of everybody at Palantir, all you guys in CIA and Mossad that can look into all of us and investigate us. So I want you to know, I love Palantir. I disagree with Derrick completely. I support Palantir executives pumping the stock, and I hope you do it more. You guys did nothing wrong. I just want to make that clear. Okay, all right. Well, let's move on to Bitcoin. So, JR, you've been a huge Bitcoin bull. You talked about 91.5 being crossed, now 126. So very quickly, what do you think of Bitcoin up here? And guys, we're going to get into NVIDIA, two truths and a lie, all the fun stuff later on. So JR, quickly, what are you thinking of Bitcoin up here?
I think now there's a race against time into the December expiration where you have a lot of open interest at 100,000. So depending on what happens in the next few weeks here, we're probably going to have a really strong rejection and a game of musical chairs type of profit-taking move into a two-wave corrective, or we're going to have a really powerful squeeze sort through 100,000 into the 125, 126 handle.
Cool. Okay. I know Sami is making trouble again. Okay. Now, Sami, interesting. One stock you've been very bullish on since under 40, Affirm. And you talked about it last week. It's going up like crazy. A lot of these like billing payments, fintech stocks going wild since the election. You still a fan of Affirm?
Yes, sir. I actually called it in the newsletter at $27, 27 and some change. It shot up, we got out, got back in, and I added to it one more time. So I like it. It looks great on the monthly.
Interesting.
It looks amazing.
Yeah,
and then also JR's square looks pretty good. It looks really good.
Yeah, we will get into all these payment stocks. I will say, I think Sami is the best at picking garbage stocks because he has this massive list of like Ericsson and Disney and Twilio, all these trash stocks that he's done really well. Okay, guys,
a lot of garbage in here, Mike. You don't have a clue. A lot of garbage in here.
I am afraid of what's happening in there. The people at Palantir might know, so just be careful. Okay, all right. So, guys, since it's NVIDIA earnings day, we are going to play two truths and a lie. It's going to be NVIDIA edition, obviously. I don't think anybody's going to get this one. I think the house is going to win today. So, again, everybody on this call, which one is the lie? NVIDIA is up over 500% in the last 3 years.
Number 2 is a lie.
NVIDIA is the number 2 name in the QQQ this year. Number 3, NVIDIA was founded inside a Denny's. Derrick says number 2. JR?
I don't know. I find number 3 hysterical, so I'm going to go with number 3.
Okay.
So question. So when you say number 2 stock in the QQQ, meaning in terms of weight?
No. In terms of performance on a percentage basis.
Okay. That sounds like it should be the lie. So I'm going with number 3.
Okay. Number 3? Okay. Sorry, guys. Bad day. Number 1 is the lie. If anybody wants to Google, NVIDIA actually was founded inside a Denny's. And AppLovin is the number 1 stock inside the Qs this year. Brett's saying, I thought it was a Hooters. No, Brett. Sorry. The house wins.
It's only up 360%.
I believe, yeah, maybe.
Are you serious? It's up more than that.
No, last 3 years, I checked it. Unless
I thought so too. I thought it was up more than that this year.
No.
It's up 200% this year. What are you talking about, Mike? You're wrong. I think the house is wrong.
Okay, all right. All right, we're going to freeze everything, and we're going to.
I think he's got his stock splits wrong or something.
I
Look
think
at
you're totally
this chart
wrong,
right
Mike.
now.
There's no way.
Okay.
5 years.
Okay.
There's no way. It looks like it's up like 10,000%. Look
Right.
at the chart right now.
No, NVIDIA. I'm looking at it right now. NVIDIA's up about 350% in the last 3 years.
Okay.
Remember, it was not 2022 was not a great year for NVIDIA. I expect an apology from everybody.
Hold on. In 20, what year? 3 years? So we're going back to November 2021 specifically?
3 years, yes.
All right. So it was at like $20 then or so? I guess it depends. It moved a lot in November that year. Which part in November of 2021?
Doesn't matter. It was like at $30. It's at $145. That's more than 300%. That's 500, 400 plus.
It's less. It's less than that.
All right. We'll move on.
I can if you guys want to play games, it's fine.
No. I'll look into it.
You see how much trouble these games cause? We might have to stop playing because it's getting too intense. Okay, all right. So let's get to the big boy, Nvidia. JR, we'll start with you. You have talked about Nvidia hitting 200. Do you have an opinion on the earnings report tonight? Should people not even worry about it too much?
Well, you should no.
JR, we can't hear you.
Sorry, I was trying my ASMR. I don't care. It's going to go up or down or sideways. We're probably going to make a lot of money when the earnings report comes out. The options market's pricing in a 9% move. So, I think it's going much higher. I'm very bullish on Nvidia, but the earnings are priced for perfection. So we have to wait and see. I don't feel the need to anticipate the report. I'll just trade the earnings when they come out.
Okay. Derrick, how about you? Any thoughts on Nvidia earnings? You playing it or you steering clear?
I'm warring this MicroStrategy short right now. It's hard to think about anything else. I think the risk is to the downside because I think like an inline number, the stock sells off, a miss, they get destroyed. But they have a reputation of just absolutely crushing earnings. So I'm in the JR camp, but I'm going to trade the price action after. I defer to Sami's expertise going into the report.
Okay.
100%.
Okay, Sami, should we bet the farm on Nvidia?
Let me see. Oh my God, yes, we should. I like Nvidia higher. I am playing Nvidia long.
Good.
Into earnings.
Good. I'm
betting the office on it.
All right. That is exactly what I want to hear. I'm very, very, very happy about that. I like when Sami tells me what I want to hear. Okay, so let's get back to the Trump trade is sort of an ongoing discussion. Now, I sort of found, I was talking to a couple of people about this ARK F ETF, which is the ARK Fintech ETF. It's like Kathy Woods is like redheaded stepchild. But we've seen like huge, it has all these stocks like Coin, Shop, Square, Bitcoin, Toast, Hood, SoFi, and a lot of the Palantir. These stocks are going absolutely wild. So, JR, I think, have you talked about PayPal lately? I know Square you've mentioned.
No, I like Square. I'm long both AFRM on Square, and they're doing fantastically well. The price action, obviously, you're in a very strong bull channel in PayPal off the December 2023 to July 2024 accumulation, and now you're 3 legs higher into an overhead supply zone. So PayPal I don't like as much as Square or AFRM personally, but look, there's a trend in place for these fintech names and the post-election Trump boost, and I think they're going to keep going higher. I just personally I like Square and AFRM better.
Okay, all right, Sami, how about you? Are you looking at any of these other? Because we know you love Affirm. I don't know if you've been talking about PayPal.
PayPal is good, but it's weaker. But looks good on the monthly. It's just weaker. I like Klarna, which hasn't even gone public. I have $150,000 worth of pre-IPO shares in Klarna, which is supposed to go public next year. It's another Affirm-like company, but it's based mostly in Europe. It's the biggest company in Europe. The buy now, pay later company. So that's supposed to go public next year, but that's not public yet. But I do have some shares of that. So I am bullish on the buy now, pay later companies and the whole sector. And I think with the Trump getting into office, those companies will do really well with deregulation. So PayPal looks good, but not as good as JR said, not as good as Square and Affirm.
Okay, Derrick, are you playing around in this space at all? Because it's like these also, everything financial has been kicking butt since the election. So are you playing around here as well?
Yeah, so SoFi has been my my go-to. Excuse me. I caught a 100% move in SoFi. I liquidated my my long stock, and now I'm selling puts in it. I still like it for higher. I think the chart looks fantastic. I like the space. I think that SoFi represents basically cheap growth. I do like PayPal also. I like it fundamentally. The technicals are okay here. It's got to get back up towards that 8750 resistance. So I like both of them. I haven't had a position in Affirm in a little while. It's been a beautiful trade. Shout out Sami on that one. But yeah, the space is hot. I still think that there's a lot of opportunity there. And that's it. I'm short MicroStrategy.
All right. So, okay. All right. So I think we should bring this up because it seems like Derrick is. I feel like Derrick would short Taylor Swift if he could, because I feel like Derrick is often fighting and MicroStrategy is kind of the name of the month. So why fight it?
This is the first time I think I've actually ever traded this stock. I've traded coin tons and tons of times. A week ago, actually, also shout out to Sami. He told me about that levered Bitcoin ETF symbol that I already forget the symbol of. I shorted it that afternoon, a little bit after we got off the radio. That was a really, really nice 2-day trade. Put some money in the bank. It's just off the extension. This MSTR is very scary to be short. I'll be honest. I just started shorting it today. I'm up a lot of P&L on it so far. If Trump comes out and announces the Bitcoin reserve, this thing is going to go to the absolute moon. So you got to make sure you manage your risk on this. The relative strength in this MSTR compared to Bitcoin or compared to like a Coinbase yesterday through today has been really, really wild. It leads me to believe that there's a big player out there stuck short who's starting to get blown out. Because I know that MSTR trades like levered Bitcoin, but it almost seems like it's even exuberant for that idea. So I don't know, came in, started shorting it today, doing really well. It's very extended on the daily chart. I like coming in on these day 3, day 4 gap ups when they get super extended to the upside to try to make some cash for myself. But I told the team in the virtual trading floor this morning, I was like, I'm shorting this MSTR. If you want to get in it, just be very, very, very careful. Please make sure you're managing your risk. This thing could go up another $50 like nothing, So far so good, but it's a scary one, and I'm trading it as we're talking.
Okay, yeah. So I will just point out. So Derrick, so I put on the screen watch lists with the short interests of all the big crypto stocks. Like, are you worried these are like very crowded shorts with Bitcoin going vertical?
I think they're getting blown out right now at this point. It's like if you're not blown out of your Bitcoin shorts by this point, are you ever going to be able to get blown out of them? I mean, it's anybody that's still short, it's impressive. I almost remember seeing that in Tesla too at a certain point, where Tesla was like everybody was short and that stock just went up and up and up and up and up, and the shorts finally were able to work a little bit once that a lot of those players got blown out. So it's similar. I don't know. I still think crypto is absolutely worthless, but you can't just short it because it's worthless. We trade the technicals here. There was a beautiful technical breakout in Bitcoin that I think all three of us here were all over that from a call out perspective. But now it's starting to get ahead of itself. I think that this entire thing is based off of the Trump presidency and whether or not they announce his Bitcoin reserve. If he doesn't, I think that this stuff is way overbought and it comes back down to earth. If he does, I think that we're nowhere near close to the top on this. If all of a sudden the federal government decides that they're legitimizing Bitcoin and buying hundreds of billions of dollars worth of stuff, and then guess what's going to happen? Every other country in the world is going to start doing the exact same thing. We're nowhere near a top in Bitcoin if that's true, but it's to be seen whether or not that happens or not.
Okay, all right. So I want to pull the conversation back a little bit to Nvidia earnings. So Sami, you've been pretty steadily bullish on this market. Do you think Nvidia can disrupt anything? At least the trend.
I don't know. I think Nvidia can do no wrong. Whatever Nvidia wants to do, I'm good with. Just kidding. I think, I don't know. I think Nvidia looks still good higher. So if you look at the MSTR, the reason why Derrick is short is because it's going vertical like this. That's a blow off top setting in motion. I mean, starting to look pretty toppy. I don't think it's quite ready yet, but we'll see. I think, maybe by tomorrow or so, I think on the MSTR, but it's going vertical. the reason why I'm mentioning it is because if you look at Nvidia chart, it's going nice and steady, slow and steady, 45-degree uptrend. That's totally sustainable. Something like the MSTR, that's not sustainable. So it makes sense to be looking to short it. Now, figuring out the timing of when you short these climactic moves can be a little bit tough, because if you wait for it to set up perfectly, you could also easily miss out on it. If you want another one that looks like MSTR, it's the APP, Apple Peter. That's going also vertical. So I'm watching both. Believe me, I'm itching to short, but I try to get the right entry, because if you don't get it right, then they can just keep going and run you over to some extent. But yeah, Nvidia looks good to me. It's 45-degree, so I like it. I'm planning on calling it in the newsletter today as a long. Hopefully holds up and doesn't crash into earnings, but I'm planning otherwise on playing it long into earnings.
Okay, cool. Okay, JR, also, you've been pretty bullish on the market for as long as I can remember. Do you think an Nvidia mess would have a real impact on the broader markets? JR just nods. He just shook his head no, and that's his entire answer.
I'm sorry. I've been accused of being a very noisy participant, so I just mute myself so you don't hear the bleeps and plops. No, I think the Trump presidency has unleashed a buying feast that will not be stopped by Nvidia miss. Maybe a short-term pullback, but there's very strong buying in the market. There's been a lot of money on the sidelines that's now missed a giant move. And look, Nvidia, in terms of the GEX profile on Nvidia, okay, it's 150. If they gap this thing over 150 tomorrow, okay, you're going to see a massive buying frenzy in the market and a lot of people off sides on this. So I think the general trade direction is still very much to the upside.
Okay, now everybody, let us know in the chat what you think. Do you think the market's going to rally off Nvidia? What do you think is going to happen with Nvidia? Let us know in the chat. So, Derrick, I saw you nodding your head. Are you in agreement with JR here?
Yeah, that pullback that we got Friday of last week, and then yesterday with that gap down on the nuclear war fears, I was joking, like, we're buying the nuclear war fears, we're buying this dip. Half joking at least, because that's exactly what I was doing. This was a gift, I think, from the market to give me this pullback to liquidate shorts and build into longs. I went from having a bunch of shorts on to now I've got 29 long positions on and 3 shorts, and 2 of the shorts are both MicroStrategy. So, and I don't know if I'm going to be keeping those or not. Palantir, I'm going to continue to do battle with until either Palantir dies or I die. But yeah, I think that this is a great opportunity to be long the market for the rest of the year. There's a lot of forced buying in this market. There's $6 billion a day in corporate buybacks that are ongoing right now. The CTAs are buying $1 billion worth of SPX per day over the course of this week alone. Then we get the Santa Claus effect, and we get the January effect. I mean, we're really set up, I think, for. I don't think that we're going to get upside momentum in the market in the way that we got immediately after Trump. But I think that we just continue to grind higher through the rest of the year.
Yeah. Melt up into December, baby.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I think that's going to close this out. Let's do a quick little roundtable just to summarize what everybody likes here, what everybody doesn't like here. JR, I will pick on you first. Quick little summary. What do you love here? What do you hate besides me?
I think Mega Cap Tech was in sort of consolidation, and then there was money rotating out of it. I think we get money back in to the Mag 7. I think the fintech names continue to explode higher, and I think we're just going to get a nice broad-based market rally and melt up into December, as Derrick mentioned. There's too much buying pressure in this market, in my opinion, for Nvidia to rattle it into submission, unless of course we get some kind of exogenous geopolitical event like a tactical nuclear situation in Russia, Ukraine. I mean, God forbid.
Okay. Derrick, how about you? Quick summary. What do you like here? What do you hate besides Palantir?
I echo JR entirely. I like the idea of being long almost anything I can look at. It has a decent chart right now, as long as that chart hasn't gone parabolic, which some of these have, like the MicroStrategy that Sami was just talking about. I am in dip buying mentality, and I got take your pick. I mean, I'm in Google, I'm in AMD, which will move a little bit on Nvidia probably. I'm in Chevron on the oil side, but I've also got like a Unity long. I've been buying biotech. I bought the dip in XBI, IBB. I've got some smaller companies, some bigger companies. I mean, I'm spread out. I'm in the IWM long itself. I had the Qs long earlier today. I had the Qs long earlier this week. I'm out of them now, but I will look to rebuy that dip also. So I'm really broad. Like I said, I'm in 29 long positions right now. So take your pick.
Okay. All right, Sami, we will close out with you. Very quick summary. What are you loving here? What are you hating?
Loving everything. I'm kidding. I'm liking. Can I share my screen real quick?
Of course. We're gonna be here for like another hour now. I can tell.
No, just a couple things, like a couple hundred. I mean, kidding. Really, a couple things. There's not a lot that I love here, to tell you the truth, which is rare, but there isn't. I am trying to share my screen here. It's taking a second, and here it is. So this is what I like. It's still asleep. Oh, that's PLTR. Yeah. Funny. I didn't mean to. I really didn't mean to.
Sami is the biggest troll at T3.
I didn't mean it.
The mask is off. Sami, we're on to you.
You see the MSCR is going vertical. You see this? I want to show you the APP also vertical. I want to show you a 5-minute climactic, which I missed because I'm doing a million things at the same time. You see this? Up, vertical. So that's what you want to short. Something like this. But okay, back to what I really like. Check this out. But that we don't want anybody to hear us. Is it VFRR? No. FVRR. Jeez. Check out the weekly. Check out the monthly. Ooh, that's hot. That looks pretty good. So I'm looking at the FVRR as a long-term trade. I have a call on it in the newsletter today. The weekly looks good, but the monthly is smoking hot. Reminds me of what? Twilio. Look at the monthly on Twilio. Look at the monthly on FVRR. Pretty similar, but in the early stages. So this one I like a lot. But I don't know how long it's going to take before it shoots up.
I just bought some, so I'll let it go right now.
I have a call also on the VNet, which is a China stock. Looks good. Weekly looks good. Monthly not as good, but the same garbage pattern that Mike talked about that I love, right? So I like this one long. A swing short maybe on the Planet Fitness, PLNT. Why? Because it has a nice 1, 2, 3 on the weekly. A swing long on the not VNet is more of a longer term play on the talk. Why? Because the daily chart looks good. So tomorrow over today's high looks good to me. I like the Vimeo a lot on the monthly. This we played as an earnings play on the monthly a couple of weeks ago. Looks beautiful. So tomorrow I like it long over today's high. Stop under this bar's low. So there's some ideas for you. Not too many. Hopefully I didn't overwhelm anybody. With my favorite being, I'm not gonna say the name here.
Okay, I actually like Fiverr of the names because that's like Sami's sort of like garbage collector pattern. The monthly transition A, the stock everybody hates with the monthly chart curling up. Okay, everybody, I hope you had fun with us today. So T3 Live Management wants to cancel the show. They say it's too wild, it's too unprofessional, it's too out of control. So let us know if we should come back because, again, T3 Management they've been trying to shut us down for months now. They haven't been able to. So let us know if we should defy them and keep coming back. That's right. Captain Janeway says no. JD says keep them coming. JW said keep it. So we will continue to fight the power. We will stay. And yes, Rich, we will go live Bill O'Reilly style. Okay. All right. Everybody have a wonderful day. Good luck with NVIDIA. We will be back in the future. Behave yourselves, everyone.
Hey guys.